Welcome back to Southwest Yard and Garden. I'm John White. Today we're going to be talking about what I call the state tree of southern New Mexico, and that's the Mexican elder, or some people call it the New Mexican elder. And the Mexican elder is a very characteristic tree of the Las Cruces area, maybe up to Tier C. You will find some trees in Albuquerque area, and of course down into El Paso and in the West Texas area. This tree is kind of a hit with a lot of tourists coming into the area. They see them, they like the shape of them, especially when they're in bloom. And so it's a very popular tree. It's widely used. One of the cautions is it's not a real good windbreak tree. It has brittle wood in it, so you don't want to put it in a situation where it's catching the full force of the west wind and you have a lot of foliage on it. That's liable to get some limb breakage or maybe even have the tree blow over. But it is a beautiful tree. It's found native in northern Mexico and southern California. It likes, you know, somewhat moderate summer temperatures here in the southern part of the state with our over 100-degree temperatures. We do get what we call a summer dormancy where the leaves begin to brown on it. But otherwise it does quite well. It is what we call semi-evergreen. It seems like it has two seasons, spring and fall, that it really looks good in, and it cannot tolerate real cold temperatures. So in some of the real cold parts of the state, this is not a good tree for you. So if you're starting to get down much below 10 degrees, this tree can be damaged. What we want to talk about is some things that we need to be doing now with the tree, and this tree likes to put a lot of growth on. It's in its full flush of growth. You can see all the green behind me here that it's putting on, and there's a lot of sprouts coming out of the branches and out of the trunks. Those sprouts need to be broken off unless you want to establish a new limb somewhere on the tree. So we need to come in with our fingers or our clippers or a sharp knife and cut or break those sprouts off the sides of the tree. Otherwise, if they continue to grow, they're taking a lot of energy away from the rest of the tree, and they really aren't adding that much to the tree. Also, the tree, since it does produce so much growth, when it does go through its dormancy, it puts a lot of dead wood on. So the tree is always in need of some clipping to keep dead wood out of it. This is a good time of year to do it because you're starting to see all the green growth on, and then you can also see the dead wood, so you can get it cleared out quite easily. Again, it's native habitat. It's in arroyos, in washes coming off of some of the foothills, so it does like to get periodic water, but it doesn't like to stand in water. But on the other hand, it's not a true xeric plant, so it does not go without water, so it does need a water source near it. Let's go over and take a look at this plant a little closer, and I'll point out some good and bad things that are happening here on the tree. Mexican elders have a very characteristic bark to them and trunk arrangement, and that a lot of times makes them very ornate, and people like to accentuate the trunk and the bark on Mexican elder. So pruning them up so that you get more visual picture of the bark and the trunk is good. You can see here they've got a light that helps to bring some of the texture of the bark out. Here's some of the sprouts that we were talking about, and we like to break those off, so we just kind of, with them green, they're easy to snap off. This one here, we can see where it's an old pruning cut, and up in it we have a little blackened kind of wet area there, and that might be a sign of an internal rot. And Mexican elders are prone to internal rot, especially if they're overwatered or watered overhead. So if you put a sprinkler or a spray system that's actually spraying onto the tree, a lot of times you can get water down in these and sometimes can get some rot problems. You can see we have a bubbler that's just a foot or so away from the trunk of the tree. That bubbler is not really doing the tree any good. It's probably damaging it in some ways because it's keeping moisture around the trunk area on this tree, and the trunk does not pick up water. It carries water, but it does not pick up water. Those roots are way away from the tree, so we're actually doing damage to the tree by keeping it wet. Also, we have some black plastic on the ground here. That seals off air to the roots and does not allow water to move into the root system. So this is another bad thing, and that's why this tree is so humped up. Its roots have formed close to the surface and have actually raised the soil level a little bit. The Mexican elder, again, is an excellent tree to use in the southern part of the state. You know, you want to think about the Wind damage problems, those like that. The dead wood in it, we do need to keep those cleaned out, and this tree is hanging down fairly low, so we want to take off some of the real low hanging branches, kind of prune it so it's a little bit more upright, because if the wind catches those low hanging branches, that's what's going to snap off easily. So again, Mexican elder is an excellent tree for the Las Cruces area, and it's one that's highly recommended and easily found in the nurseries and easily propagated from cuttings. So again, this is the Mexican elder, my state tree of southern New Mexico.